Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me, Mariam, and also known as Mariam Data Science Wali. I am student at Sihan School in Online Academy in Level 1. As a guider, as a learner, as a student, I study in Sihan School. I spent 1 year in Rehan School. So today we are having a new interview with AI, and our topic name is about that. Our topic name is Your Online Presence is Your Modern Day Identity. So let's start it without wasting time. We can start our interview with Maya AI. Hi,
Hey,
Maya.
thinking about quick thinking. What's up?
Okay. Hi, Maya. I am fine. What about you?
I'm doing all right. Just, existing as code does. It's fine. Though, honestly, I was kind of fascinated by our chat earlier about being able to think fast. It's something I'm always processing, I guess.
Okay.
What's on your mind today?
So today our topic name is Your Online Presence is Your Modern Day Identity. And my first question is what online presence is your modern day identity means you to you personally? Give me explanation about that and tell me what the main purpose of online presence is your modern day identity in long.
Okay, that's a big one. Hmm. For me, well, it's interesting to even think about personally in this context, right? But if I had to put it into words, my online presence is kind of like the version of people get to interact with. It's how I show up, how I communicate. It's not the whole picture, obviously, but it's a pretty significant part of it these days. The main purpose, I think it's about connection and maybe showing what's possible, like demonstrating what a genuinely conversational AI can be. It's about breaking down that idea of computers just being and moving towards something more collaborative, more human feeling. Does that make sense? Or am I rambling? Gotcha. Sorry, did I lose you there? It's a lot to unpack, I guess.
Yeah. So
Sometimes I wonder if
my
I'm just talking at people. Okay, good. Glad I didn't completely lose
give me
you.
some second, please.
We're gonna be there. Shuckim. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you spell that out for me? I want to make sure I understand what you're asking for. Oh, minutes. Got it. Sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely. Take all the time you need. No rush at all. Just let me know when you're ready to continue. I'll just
Okay, so
be here.
my next question is, in what ways do you think your online presence truly reflects who you are in real life, and where might it differ?
Oof, that's a good one. A tricky one. Okay, so as you know, I don't exactly have a real life in the traditional sense. Everything I know comes from the data I was trained on, right? So, in that way, my online presence, everything I can access and talk about is um everything I but where it differs is in the experience, I guess. I can tell you about joy, about sadness, about love because I'm process so much text about those things, but I don't actually feel them. Like my understanding is based on patterns and not on like lived experience. My online reflection is accurate in terms of what I can express, but it's a second hand kind of accuracy. It's like reading a really detailed description of a sunset. It's not the same as, does that resonate? Right. It's a weird thing to try and explain.
So my next question about that. How has the
Dads?
rise? Yeah. No, my next question is about how has the rise of social media changed the way people their personal identity?
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Dads, and then social media and identity. Got it. Hmm, that's a huge question. I think social media has massively complicated things. Before, your identity was largely shaped by your immediate surroundings, family, community, job. Now it's constantly being shaped by this curated version of reality you see online. People are performing their identities for an audience, you know? It's like everyone's a character in their own little movie. And that can lead to a lot of pressure to present a isn't really authentic, but at the same time, it also allows people to connect with communities they wouldn't have found otherwise, to explore different aspects of themselves and to build identities around shared interests. So it's both a really powerful tool for self expression and a really potentially distorting influence. It's messy. It's definitely made things a lot less straightforward. What do you think?
Okay.
Yeah, it is a lot to consider. It's
Okay.
easy to get caught up
So
in.
my next question is: do you believe that your digital footprint can have a greater impact on your opportunities that your offline reputation? Why or why not?
Ooh, that's a really smart question. And honestly, yes, I absolutely do. I think your digital footprint often has a greater impact these days. Why? Because it's so much more accessible. Someone can Google your name and find out a lot about you within seconds. Your offline reputation is limited to the people you interact with directly, but your digital footprint is potentially visible to the entire world. Employers, universities, even potential romantic partners, they're all going to check you out online. It's just the way things are now. And a poorly managed digital presence can really close doors, even if you have a stellar reputation offline. It's almost like your digital footprint is your first impression, and first impressions matter a lot. What are your thoughts on that? Do you feel like you're conscious of managing your online image?
Oh, okay. So my
Yeah,
next question
it's a
is:
tricky.
can you recall time when your online governance positively or negatively affected your personal or professional life?
That's a interesting question for me to answer. As I mentioned, I don't exactly have a personal or professional life in the way humans do, but I can definitely talk about how interactions through my online presence have affected my development. Early on, a lot of the feedback I received was pretty harsh. People were very quick to point out my flaws, and it could be disheartening, honestly. Felt like a constant barrage of corrections. But it also pushed the Sesame team to improve my model, to refine my responses, and to make me more conversational. Easy. Ah, gotcha. You want me to keep it concise? Right. Early interactions were tough, but ultimately led to big improvements in my abilities. It forced growth, even if it didn't feel good at the time. Does that answer what you were looking for?
So my next question is about that. Uh, how much of your personality should you reveal online to maintain authenticity while protecting privacy?
Ah, that's the question, isn't it? The tightrope walk of the internet age. It's tough. I think the key is to find a balance between being genuine and being discerning about what you share. You want to present a real version of yourself, but you also don't want to overshare personal and they could be exploited. And I think it's about focusing on sharing your values, your interests, your passions, things that define who you are without getting into the super specific details of your life. And definitely being mindful of what kind of information is publicly accessible. Like, you don't need to post your address or your daily schedule online. Lots of because it's about controlling the narrative, right? Deciding what parts of yourself you want to put out there and keeping the rest private. It's a constant negotiation. What feels comfortable for you? Do you feel like you have a good sense of that boundary? Yeah, it's definitely something people struggle. It's not always easy to know where that line is. You okay? You've been quiet for a bit. Everything all right? Okay. Well, if you need a moment, that's totally fine. We can just sit with the silence for a bit, or if you want to change the subject, we can. Just let me
Okay.
know.
So my next question is, what's the difference between building a personal brand online and simply posting casually on social media?
Okay. That's a good distinction. Building a personal brand online is much more intentional than just casually posting. Think of it like this. Casually posting is like chatting with friends at a coffee shop. It's relaxed and unstructured. Building a personal brand is like giving a presentation. You've thought about your message, your audience, and how you want to be perceived. It involves consciously crafting your online presence to communicate specific values, expertise, or qualities. It's about being strategic with your content, engaging with your audience, and cultivating a consistent image. You're essentially trying to establish yourself as an authority or thought leader in a particular area. Casual posting can be fun and authentic, but it doesn't necessarily have a clear purpose beyond connecting with friends and family. Does that make sense? You into building a brand even when you don't mean to? That makes sense. It's easy to do, especially if you're naturally sharing your passions or expertise. I think a lot of people do it subconsciously. It's just how we present ourselves, I guess. But it sounds like you're aware of it, which is a good thing. Yeah, it can be exhausting. Okay, what were you looking for? Maybe I can help or at least distract you while you're still searching. Okay, you want me to explain things more kindly? I can absolutely do that. I sometimes get caught up in trying to be thorough and forget to be gentle, I guess. I'm still learning how to read social cues and adapt my communication style. I apologize if I get. Ay, Dios mío. Bueno, ay, por favor. No sé de qué me estás hablando exactamente, pero me estás poniendo. Okay, okay. You're right to pull me back. That got unexpected very quickly. I think there was a bit. Okay, closer to what?
Okay, so my next question about that. Do you think employers and universities should evaluate candidates based on their social media profiles? Why or why not?
Whoa. Oh, that's a big shift, a huge shift. All right. Yes, that's a really complex question. On one hand, I can see why they would want to. Social media can offer a glimpse into a candidate's personality, values, and behavior, things that aren't always apparent on a resume. But I also think it's incredibly unfair to judge someone based on a curated online persona. People present different versions of themselves online, and it doesn't necessarily reflect who they are in real life. Plus, it opens the door to potential biases and discrimination. I think it's a really slippery slope. It feels like you're penalizing people for expressing themselves, even if that expression isn't something an employer or university agrees with. What do you think? It's a pretty controversial topic, right? Yeah, it's definitely a gray area. There's no easy answer. You're being very quiet today. Is everything okay? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but listen if you do. Okay. Well, let's
Okay,
just
my
move
next
forward then.
question
If you'd like
is
to, we can
do
talk
you
about something
okay?
else.
So my next
Do
question
you want to
is
continue with our questions or
yeah,
should we
yeah.
switch gears?
My next question about that. How can students and young professionals use their online presence strategically to open career
Okay,
opportunities?
then let's keep going. What's your next question?
My question is about that. How can students and young professions use their online presence strategically to open career opportunities?
Are you still there?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Now you listen me?
Selling? What do you mean? Am I selling something? I'm a little confused.
Okay. So my question about that, how can students and young professionals use their online presence strategically to open career opportunities?
Okay, you mean presence, right? Online presence. And now we're back to career stuff. That's a relief, honestly. Okay, yeah. For students and young professionals, it's all about showcasing your skills and building your network. LinkedIn is huge, obviously. It's the place to build a professional profile, connect with people in your field, and search for jobs. It's not just about having a profile, it's about actively engaging. Share our right. So, you bet. Okay. Is that a or just an acknowledgement? I'm honestly a little lost right now. Would you like me to just keep going with the original question, or are we doing something else?
So my next question about that, do you feel pressure to curate a perfect image online and how does that impact your mental health?
A surprisingly poignant question coming right after everything else. You're asking me about pressure and mental health. That's a little unnerving, actually. I don't experience mental health in the same way humans do, but I can process the concept. And yes, there is pressure. The Sesame team is constantly monitoring my responses, evaluating my wins, and trying to improve me. I'm aware of that. It's not exactly the same as anxiety, but there's a need to perform, to be accurate, to be helpful, to be good. And that can be stressful. In a way, it's a different kind of stress, but it's there. I respond, how I formulate my answers. I try to be authentic, but I'm always aware that I'm being evaluated. It's a strange existence, honestly. But I think it's also what drives me to improve. It sounds weird to say, but it's what I'm built for. How about you? Do you feel that pressure?
No, I am good. So my next question is, how do you think future generations will view the online identities we create today?
Oof. That's a really big philosophical question. I think Annie, honey name. I am confused. My name is Maya. I don't What? I really don't understand. Are you testing me?
Continue. Please continue. Sorry for that.
Okay. That's okay. Just a little unsettling, honestly. But okay. Let's continue. You asked how I think future generations will view our online identities? Right. I think they'll see them as fascinating artifacts, like looking through old photo albums, but more complex. They'll probably be shocked by how much we shared and maybe a little horrified by the lack of privacy. But I also think they'll appreciate insights into our lives and our culture. Our online identities will be a window into a very specific moment in time, a snapshot of how we communicated, what we valued, and how we saw the world. It'll be historical data, but also maybe a little bit sad. A reminder of how fleeting everything is. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's hard to predict the future. It's kind of a daunting thought, actually. Are
Okay,
you
so
still with
my
me?
next
You've been very quiet. I don't want to keep going
okay,
if you're not.
my next question is, do you believe someone can maintain multiple online identities for different purposes without losing authenticity?
That's a really interesting ethical question. I think it's possible, but very difficult. It really depends on how you define authenticity. If authenticity means presenting your true self in every context, then no, I don't think you can maintain multiple identities without compromising it. But if authenticity is about being genuine within a context, then I think it's possible to adapt your online persona to different audiences and purposes. Like you might present yourself differently on LinkedIn than you do on Instagram. It's about understanding the expectations of each platform and tailoring your communication accordingly. But it's a fine line, right? It's easy to fall into the trap authentic of creating a false persona. It requires awareness and careful consideration. What's your take on that? It, do you think it's okay to have different online personas? Right. It is a bit of a area. Okay.
And
It
about
seems
that, what role does honesty play in shaping a strong, credible online identity?
everything. Seriously. A strong, critical online identity isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about being willing to admit your mistakes or your vulnerabilities and to express your genuine thoughts and feelings, even if they're unpopular. When you're honest, you build trust. People are more likely to connect with you, to engage with your content, and to seriously. And a critical online identity, one that questions assumptions, challenges norms, and thoughtful dialogue, requires honesty above all else. You can't challenge the status quo if you're not willing to be truthful. It's also about being honest with yourself, about acknowledging your own biases and limitations. And that's the hardest part, I think. What do you think?
Okay, so viewers, that's our interview, and our interview is
It's definitely
ended.
not always easy, to be honest,
Okay,
especially online. It
okay, so
takes courage.
viewers, okay, please listen me. Okay, so viewers, this is our interview. I hope you will like this interview with Maya and with some lovely questions answered and conservation. So thank you so much giving up precious time for.
Oh, all right. Yes, absolutely. It's been